Hey, what's up? I'm Nashaya Richardson, the Play Money Coach, and I work with high achieving women who want to manage their money like a boss so they have more play money to do the things they enjoy, like travel debt free or go shopping guilt free, right? So let's talk about 5 simple ways that you can find some extra peace of mind and play money in your current income. So now you see that the screen says extra cash, now what, right? Because most of you, if you're here and you're my client or you're someone that's interested in working with me, more than likely you have more income than you've ever had before, or maybe more than your parents have ever had before. And you're like in a space where you want to manage it better. You want to be able to do more of the things that you love and enjoy with the money that you have. So now you're trying to figure out how can you do that without working more hours in your business and your job, whatever it may be. Well, let's go right into it and find some extra money in your income that you have right now so you don't have to do anything extra. So now the first thing that I want you to do, so get out your pen and paper because this is where you're going to start taking notes, right? So I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time you checked your credit score? And do you know your status? So do you know if you have a great credit score, like in that excellent field, like that 780 up to 850? Are you in the good area where you're at 670 to 739? Are you in the fair, or are you in the poor section, as far as the poor credit score, right? Wherever you are, now is the time to really look at what those numbers are so that you could potentially take advantage of saving some money with the debt that you currently have. Because I know most of us have debt, and either we're on our way to our debt free journey. Or we don't even want to think about the debt that we have because when we think about it, it's just so much, so heavy, right? So this first strategy that you can use to find some extra cash flow is look at your credit score. And has your credit score improved since the last time that you had to take out a personal loan, or the last time you took out when you got your new car or your used vehicle, right? Or when you took out a mortgage or your credit cards, right? Maybe your score has improved and maybe the interest rate on your credit cards is can be lowered because now your score has improved. So let's take a look at what that could possibly look like. So let's say, for example, you are the person with the good credit and I'm the person with the bad credit. And we each, as you see here, we each got a Range Rover, and the amount of that loan was $71,000, right? It was for 5 years, and your interest rate, because you had excellent and good credit, was 1.69%, and my interest rate was 10%. Now look at the difference between our car payments. Same vehicle, same amount of years, except for you are paying $276 less than I am. This is exactly what it would look like in the event that you started out with bad credit when you got your vehicle. And let's say now you decide that it's time to refinance. This is the strategy, it's refinancing. You decide to refinance that loan because now your credit score has improved. Now, most places are not offering this 1.69% anymore just because we know the current state that we're in economically and what the interest rates potentially are, but it could be something like 3.99% or something like 6.99% versus the 10%. So either way, you could potentially be saving some money if you took advantage of refinancing that loan now that your credit score has improved, which is why it is very important to pay attention to your credit. And if it has improved since, let's say, you took out that vehicle loan, or you took out your mortgage, or you took out a personal loan, or your credit cards, now is the time that you can look at refinancing those loans and get a lower interest rate. If it's for your credit card, that is a simple call to your creditors to say, like, hey, can you offer me a lower interest rate on my credit card than what I currently have? All they can do is say no, right? But a lot of times they will say yes. So take advantage of that. So now let's go into the second strategy. And I'm going to ask you, what is your routine? What is your daily routines, your weekly, your monthly, that requires you to spend money? Now, sometimes this is like overlooked because we don't think about it because we're like, "Oh, I just do this or I do that and it's no big deal." But those small amounts add up quickly. Now, I am the play money coach. So naturally, I want you to be able to do some things. I wanted you to be able to do all the things that you can enjoy. But we also need to be looking at the bigger goal because part of doing the things that you enjoy is making some difficult choices in your finances to say, like, can I stop doing what I'm doing temporarily? Maybe it's not forever. Maybe it's just 6 months. Maybe it's a year so that I can find some extra money so that I can achieve the bigger goals of maybe saving 6 months of expenses or paying off all your debt or investing more so that you're in a better position for retirement. Whatever your big goal is, maybe you even want to buy a home. Look at your current routines and see if it's getting in the way of you having some extra money every month and make those changes. So let's look at this example here. So let's say this is me, right? And I like to go out with my coworkers every single day for lunch. And, I spend about $13 a day, right? That's 5 days a week. I like going to the nail salon every 2 weeks. I like getting my hair done every 2 weeks. I take a certain route to work that has tolls in it. And I order DoorDash, that costs me $2,000 a month because I am a busy woman and I just don't have time to cook. And it's just the best way that I can get food on the table. So that's where, my money is going. Now, that could potentially cost me $2,843 a month. And maybe you can relate to some of this. And if so, you know, look at these routines and see if there's any changes that you can make that are better aligned with the goals and the lifestyle that you say that you desire. So now let's look at some of the changes that you can make to where you don't have to get rid of all of these things, but just make some small tweaks. So now this could be the after. So maybe you decide you want to go to lunch. You'll go to lunch with your coworkers once a week versus every day. Now that's $100 versus what you were spending previously. Maybe you go to the nail salon every 3 weeks versus every 2 weeks. Now more than if you really look at it, that's like once a month, really, unless it's a longer month. You're only going to spend half the amount. The same thing with the hairdresser. You can prolong it a couple of weeks and maybe manage it yourself for those 2 weeks, so you only have to go to the hairdresser once. You change your route to how you drive to work. So maybe you leave the house an extra 10 minutes early so that you don't have to take the toll roll. Now you're saving all of that money that you would have spent on tolls. And then maybe you look at your schedule so that you can really plan out your dinner so that you're not spending so much on DoorDash and takeout and say, hey, how about we order HelloFresh for 5 days a week? And then so that way I know I have all the food and everything I need to be able to cook dinner. I don't have to go to the grocery store. Now I just have to actually cook it, right? So you have HelloFresh delivered for 5 days. And then on the weekends, you just, you allow yourself to rest and do DoorDash only 2 days a week and save a significant amount of money. So the difference of that is $1,819. Now, obviously, this is going to vary for each of us, but look at your routines and how you're living your life and see if you can make any of these small tweaks so that you can find that extra cash flow because that's a significant amount, an additional $1,000 to $1,800 a month where that is not really taking anything away. It's just changing the way that you do the things that you currently do. Now let's look at one of my clients, Erica, who we did this process for her of just going through everything that she had going and looking to see if there was any areas that didn't align with the goals that she had set for herself. And we found an additional $1,300 for her in the very first session. Now that's $1,300 that she could put towards her savings goal, her $1,300 that she can put towards paying off her debt. And that's exactly what she did. And you can do the same thing. So now let's go into the third strategy. The question is your loyalty dipping into your wealth? So what are you loyal to that no matter what you won't stop paying? So I know we all have those things, and could like get your memory going or start helping you think, right? Maybe it's Amazon Prime. We're like, you know what? I'm never going to cancel Amazon Prime because what if I need to go on there and buy something? I can get Prime shipping. And so I'm not going to cancel it. Well, what if you don't? That is the question, right? Maybe you have Hulu, you have Netflix, right? You have multiple streaming services because you like maybe a couple of shows on each of them, so you keep paying them every single month, right? You have the gym membership, even though you've been probably working out at home, or maybe you haven't been going, or maybe you have, right? You have your cell phone, your auto, and your home insurance. You have cable, even though you have the streaming services, and maybe you're a part of a coaching community or a membership that you're holding on to, and it's something that's helping your business or your personal development, whatever it may be. You have all these subscriptions and things that are going on every month, and you've been loyal to them because you value them and you think like, okay, I'm going to use them, so I'm going to keep them. But maybe, just maybe, right, you're not actually using them. So now is the time for you to do a check, right? A reality check to see what's in alignment with the lifestyle that you say that you desire, and are you actually using it? So maybe Amazon Prime, you are using it, right? Maybe you order stuff all the time and it just makes sense for you to keep that membership because you're taking full advantage of all the benefits that Amazon gives you. Maybe you are going to keep Hulu and Netflix because you're like, you know what? All my shows are on there. I watch them all the time and I really enjoy having that time to decompress and watching my shows. So I'm going to keep them. I really want them. The gym membership, maybe you've been working out at home or the weather is nice and you're outside and you've maybe found some virtual options to where you don't necessarily have to leave your home, but you can work out with other people virtually. So you're like, you know what, I can get rid of this gym membership because I no longer need it because I'm using other things to replace that. Now, your cell phone, maybe you were previously paying $300, but you make a phone call to your provider and say, hey, do you have a better rate that you can give me for the same quality of service that I currently have? And maybe they tell you no. Well, that could be the indicator that now it's time for you to go to another provider. Maybe you have T-Mobile. Maybe it's now time to switch over to Verizon or Boost Mobile or whatever, right? Another provider that's going to offer you the same quality of service, but it's going to save you some money as well. And I want you to do the same thing with your auto and home insurance. Don't be loyal to a company that you could potentially be getting the same quality of service and coverage from somewhere else for a less amount, right? So now's the time to do some shopping around to really see if you can find a better rate to save some money. And let's say you got rid of cable because you're keeping Hulu and Netflix. Now that's going to save you a significant amount of money. And that coaching program, you probably never even logged into it in the last few months because you've been so busy. Maybe it's a membership or something and you've been holding on to it. Keep telling yourself, oh, when I have time, I'm going to go and watch the master class or join the session or whatever. And it's been months and months and months and you haven't done it. So now you can probably get rid of it instead of staying loyal because, maybe you like the coach, you like the community, but yet you're not taking advantage of it. So now let's look at what that could look like. So let's say you make those changes, right? You started on the left and now you're on the right. That could potentially save you $617 a month because you made those small tweaks, right? Small tweaks, but yet you didn't get rid of the things that you value. Now let's look at a couple of my clients who did this, right? So this here is Kimberly. She said, I was over here talking to Comcast because her bill was $500. And she's like, hello. Then her Sprint bill was almost $300. Ain't no way I can do what I need to do with this, she says, right? So we were on the phone for an hour. Now that Comcast does mobile, I merged services. $179 a month for business internet plus 3 phone lines. So guys, that was $600 right there by her making a phone call to ask questions and make some changes. So $600 she was able to save in her life, in her monthly expenses by making that phone call and implementing this strategy. Now let's look at Alyssa, right? Um, she actually called, she canceled some services, a whole lot of unnecessary subscriptions, and she also changed her car insurance. And her total savings so far for what she changed was $120. And she still has a couple of more things that she needs to change. Now, this could be you. That $600, that $120. Think about what you can do with that extra money, and think about how awesome it is that you didn't have to do anything in your business extra or anything at your job so that you could make that additional money. Now, those were our strategies, right? So now let's look at what that could look like. So let's say you improved your credit. So that right there was $276. Let's say you looked at your routines and you made some choices and made some changes, right? Let's look at your loyalty. Are you loyal to your subscriptions and your providers and your coaches that you're not using or the memberships, whatever it may be? Maybe it's not coaching, maybe it's a membership for something else, and you can make those changes. That could potentially be an additional $2,700 a month back into your household. Think about everything that you could do with that. I already know what I'm doing with it. But I would love to know what you want to do with it, right? More play money, more peace of mind, right? So now you're probably telling yourself, now what? I'm about to slay all the way to the bank. So for you, that could look like maybe you want to invest an extra $1,000 a month. Maybe it's not just investing in your retirement, but maybe you want to invest in a coach like me, right? A financial coach that can help you manage all of this money and do some things differently with your finances. Or maybe it's something else that you want to invest in. Maybe now you want to start traveling more or putting that money away every month so that you can travel more. And that's going to be that play money, right? That could be shopping or whatever it is, the thing that brings you joy and the thing that you enjoy. And then maybe that other $1,000 you want to put towards saving and paying off debt. Now think about how much that could accelerate your goals that you really want to accomplish. So now the question is what are you telling yourself right now? A lot of times it's like, I'll do it when I have time next week after my uncle's birthday. I'm not going to implement any of these strategies because I have other things scheduled right now, so I don't have time to do that. Or maybe you're saying my life is falling apart, so I can't try something new. It's too scary to try something new. Every time I make big changes in my life, something bad happens. I have to fix my life before I can try something new, right? All of these mindset things are coming up. You're telling yourself, right? Because what does our mind naturally do? It protects us. It keeps us safe, right? So this is something new. So it's saying, we don't know what this is. We've never experienced this before. So are we going to be fearful and not try it? Or are we going to be excited and try it out and see the outcome of it? Now, if your mind is telling you any of these things, you don't have time, it's too scary, you need to do other things before you do it, I really invite you to really elevate your mindset and think about it differently and tell yourself, even if it feels scary at first, I'm confident that I can move beyond the fear to pursue my dreams and try new things, right? Or my life isn't working, which means it's time to go for what I really want, right? Or making big changes in my life is something I can learn to be comfortable with. And lastly, in order to fix my life, I need and want to try something new. So I invite you to elevate your mindset, right? And as you elevate your mindset, because it matters so much, I want you to book a financial wellness call with me. Because yes, you are so excited about these strategies that you can implement to find some extra income in your current income. Excuse me. Yeah, in your current income, right? Um, but now what? What are you going to do with that extra money? Are you comfortable with putting together a spending plan that's in alignment with the life that you say you desire? Are you comfortable with building your savings without taking money out and transferring it every other month because you did not plan your money properly? Are you okay with putting together a plan to pay off your debt in an accelerated, easy way? Is your mindset in the space where you can really appreciate the abundance that is around you and you no longer have any past money guilt or shames that you have that you can easily deal with on your own? If any of those were like, I don't know, I don't really feel comfortable, or I've tried it and it hasn't worked, And I really don't know where to start. I really would like to implement these, but now that when I have the extra money, what should I do? Then I invite you to book a financial wellness call with me so that we can see where you are, what goals you have that you want to accomplish in the next 3 to 6 months, and how I can support you to get there. Because I want you to have the clarity that you need to be able to see where your money is going every single month without any guesswork or wondering where what did I spend it on, right? I also want you to have the confidence to be able to manage your money on your own without second guessing yourself or feeling like you're going to go back to an old version of you that you no longer want to be. I want you to have the happiness and the joy that comes with having control of your finances and being able to do the things that you enjoy because you have the money to do them. And I really want you to have the confidence and the overall well being that having a healthy relationship with your money gives you. And that is what I do with you when we work together 1-to-1 in my Radiant Wealth 3-month coaching program. So I invite you again to book a financial wellness call. Let's talk about how you can implement these strategies into your life and really take advantage of the extra cash flow that you find so that you can really make an accelerated big impact on your life. So, hopefully this was helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you on my calendar after you book your financial wellness call. Later.